Hey guys, it's Phantom here, and welcome back to a brand new video, everyone. So in today's video, I am going to be going over the problem with Wizard101's advertising and how it's just been a persistent problem for many years of the game's lifespan. So it's no secret to anyone, I mean just right off the bat here, that this game really is not what it used to be. It just simply doesn't have as many players as it used to have, and I mean you could kind of just attribute this to many things, pretty much just as like the lifespan of a game goes on. Generally it will start to lose, its player base, especially if there was a lot of hype at the beginning of the game, and I believe this was definitely one of the root causes, for the loss in players for Wizard101. But I also think you can kind of attribute some of that loss of players also, and this is kind of aside from like all of the general things that is kind of out of the company's control, such as like their audience growing up, etc, etc. Money grabbing company, blah blah blah. I don't really want to play their game anymore because of said money grabbing strategies. Like, yes, we all know there is kind of one big reason why Wizard101 has lost players. I am in a battle now, but I'm gonna finish this point anyway. There is, of course, one big reason why, actually I can just go ahead and do that, why Wizard101 has continued to lose players over the years. But of course, with the loss being a subject of its own, I would also like to look at the fact that Wizard101 has not gained many new players over the years either, and not very many people are coming back. I mean, some are, like, you get it in the news all the time of people actually coming back to the game. But I feel like that number isn't as large as some people might think, and I think there's a reason for that. And this, of course, as the title of the video suggests, goes all the way back to Wizard101's advertising for the game. Now, oh, we hit a dead end here. Now, I have so many problems with just kind of the way that they run their advertising, and I'm not gonna lie to all of you, it just really does not make that much sense. I mean, like, in some cases from a business perspective, it might make some sense, but just for the overall kind of good health of the game, in all fairness, I don't think that their advertising is really catered to, them just caring about the life of the game and how long it kind of lasts and survivability and all that. And of course, to have a game, survive, you need to have players actually actively playing your game and interacting with it. And to do that, you need some good advertising to actually draw them into the game, and I think advertising is just one of Wizard101's kind of weakest, aspects. I guess I would just say it's more so KingsIsle as a whole. As a company, they haven't really done a very effective job at doing it over the years, and I really do think we can kind of see this with just the fact that most people observe that there just aren't that many players in the game and not that many new players are coming in. But what are the actual problems that have to do with Wizard101's advertising? Well, the first one that I would say is the game just is not advertised very much at all whatsoever. Just to give you like one example that is kind of, I guess this might be just a little bit unreliable just because I'm using like a sample size of myself to actually tell this to you. But just from me personally and from my experience of watching TV just over the last few years, I have barely seen any Wizard101 commercials at all. I don't remember the last time I've seen one. I actually saw one. To be honest with you, it's been so long, and I'm not really sure what the reasons for this are, but I know that it's not good. It's not a good thing overall when you don't have commercials advertising your motherfucking game, right? When they're not on the TV, it's like, well, who's actually seeing the game? Who's actually getting the knowledge that the game is out there and it exists and it's ready for you to play, It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why there are just no more commercials. Now, of course, I could just be totally wrong about this, and the commercials could still be out there. This is just from what I've seen, so I'd like to know some feedback in the comments of what you have observed as well. And going back to the reasons why this might actually be the case of, the whole lack of commercials, the only thing I can really think of is, like, budget cuts, I guess. Like, it does cost money to run commercials on television. Maybe they don't have that money anymore, but I really don't think that's the case. Just with throughout the years, I mean, how much they've been pushing the whole over monetization thing, and this game is far from dead. So that, I mean, I'm just confused. I'm really just confused about the whole thing. But I will definitively say that not having very many commercials for your game on TV, right? TV, the thing that pretty much like everyone, a majority of the population, sorry, I should probably not make that assumption, but a lot of people watch it. And the fact that there are no advertisements, you know, advertising your game, the fact that there's none on it, well, that just does not bode well for the game's lifespan as a whole, in my opinion. And this does not go with only TV as well. I mean, literally, unlike any given website that I'm on that kind of pertains to gaming, I very rarely see Wizard101 ads anymore. Now, I would say probably the only time that I actually do see, you know, those like little Wizard101 ads like on the side of your browser, is when I'm like ever on one of those scammy fucking websites that's trying to get something out of me. You know, for some reason, I see like my favorite game in the world pop up on the side, and I'm like, well, why is that here, and why isn't it anywhere else? Now, like I've said, just using the sample size of just me, it's not super reliable. However, I am just kind of an average person, so maybe what I experience is in line with what a lot of you experience as well, but I have not seen that many ads on like external, you know, outlets of media, websites, TV, etc. It's all not really there for me, and I just kind of wonder why, because I feel like that really would help the game if maybe some more of those ads were actually out there. Now, of course, the lack of advertising for this game is obviously a terrible thing. I think we can all recognize that, but some of the things that KingsIsle chooses to advertise within the game and kind of how they advertise their game when they do it, I really have a problem with it, and it just kind of pisses me off. Their whole methodology behind it. It makes like almost no sense. I mean, I get like why they do it, but just why, man? Why? So pretty much one of the main avenues of advertising that KingsIsle has for their game is the Wizard101 Twitter. Am I in another dead end? Oh my god, dude. But yeah, the Wizard101 Twitter, you know, there's just all sorts of news pertaining to the game on it. And I would just like to point out that their Twitter is just absolutely littered with monetization. And of course, it kind of does make sense when you look at the Wizard101 news, you know, all the latest news, and it's just about like new bundles, packs, spell events, etc., etc. Obviously not very happy to see that, but it does carry over into their Twitter as well, which I just really don't like. I really don't like, because like other people can see that as well without even having to have downloaded the game, right? And people who aren't even currently playing the game, if they followed that account, they can see it. They can see exactly what's going on. And it's just like, I feel like that just kind of doesn't help very much. It doesn't help at all. And the actual, you know, really cool, valuable things that are definitely worth advertising, such as the time, you know, during the beginning half of this month where they actually made Wizard City and Krakotopia free for all players, well, they only had one post on their Twitter that related to that. That was it. Okay, and then if we take a look at just how many tweets that they have that are about the Gamma plushie, you know, the little plushie that is like $25 or something like that, the little piece of merchandise, right? If you just kind of compare those two, and you kind of just think about the game, it's like, yeah, you're pushing merchandise, right? You're pushing sales for merchandise. That makes sense, right? Wizard101, like, I'm not hating on the Gamma plushie or anything. It's just like, why do you decide to allocate so many tweets to that when you literally have like an entire half of your month? It might not even be a half month, but you have a large block of time, right, where players can actually play like a lot of your game, at least a decent chunk of it, for free, which is something so many people have wanted to do for so long, and you only have one tweet pertaining to it? It's like, what? That just makes zero sense. It's like, I get that you want money and all, and your business, and you need to stay afloat, but really, if we kind of think about it, the longevity of your game is really the only thing that has kept you and your company alive for so long. So don't you want to promote the actual game that has kind of given life to all of these new streams of revenue, right? When you host something as important as like a free weekend, right, or like a free few weeks for the game, to actually get new players in, wouldn't you want to put more effort into advertising that instead? Maybe not even instead, but alongside that. That makes so much more sense to me, and I just don't... I've said I don't understand so many times in this video, but just the reasoning behind all of their actions, it's just like, what the fuck, man. And I would also like to mention really quick at the end here that this does scare me for like a lot of future events, you know, that they quote unquote have an advertise in Wizard101, just such as like the free weekends, etc, etc, because the reason why they actually do, I mean, at least I think the reason why they actually have all those free weekends and stuff like that is because they want to see if it will actually bring new people or returning people back to the game. But when you don't advertise it, nothing's gonna happen, or at least it's not gonna be that significant, so I don't really know what you expect, Kay. I don't know. But anyways, that is pretty much going to be it for this video, everyone. I really hope you all did enjoy. If you did, you could always leave a like on the video or subscribe to the channel. It would very much help me out, and I really do appreciate everyone who does that. But, I mean, I appreciate you nonetheless for watching. What can I say? But I really want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below of the video, because this is just a really, I think, widespread topic, at least nowadays, you know, when we're kind of talking about Wizard101, quote-unquote, dying, etc, etc, and the reasons maybe behind that. So just let me know thoughts, feedback in the comments down below. I really would appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video or stream, whenever that may be. So take care, and peace out, everyone.